Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to our family and friends updates. Summer is finally here, a time when the days are brighter and we get to do things like backyard barbecues, road trips, evening walks, or simply soaking up the sun. But the temperatures are currently soaring out there, so please don't forget to stay cool and hydrated. My name is Petronella Ndebele, and I'm the Director of Strategic Communications and Stakeholder Relations, and be facilitating today's program. Thank you so much for joining us today. As we mark this important month of June, I'm pleased to invite Louise, our Manager for Enterprise Planning and Strategy, to give the land acknowledgement. Louise.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Patty. Well, happy Pride for everybody. It is June, so happy Pride for everybody who is celebrating and also for those who have no idea what to do this month. Well, I have some tips if you want to. So, we acknowledge we are gathering today, no matter where we are, on the traditional territory of Indigenous people. More specifically, I'm speaking to you today from a place nowadays known as Richmond Hill. And I acknowledge that the land I'm on today is a Treaty 13 territory. It's the traditional territory of the Wendat, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and the homeland of the Métis people. Um, this land is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people, and through this land acknowledgement, we all take part in an act of reconciliation, honoring the land and Indigenous presence, which dates back over 10,000 years, as well as their long-standing contributions to our society. The history of the treaty making spans hundreds of years, and the treaties agreed upon by the indigenous communities and first settlers remain relevant today. I also acknowledge that we are all treaty peoples, including those who came here as settlers, some by choice, other by forces of circumstance. I express my gratitude to this land by being outdoors, connected with nature at every season of the year, winter included, sunscreen on days like these, and appreciating the possibility of presenting my whole self anywhere and being able to raise and nurture my family without fears of repercussion. My husband and I chose Canada as our home almost 10 years ago now, and we acknowledge its history and commit to building a better home where all peoples live in peace and the land amongst each other, passing a positive legacy on to our descendants. I wish you all a good session. And I've been asked to speak about, I'm also the chair of the Pride Collective here at Community Living Toronto, and I asked to speak about the importance of Pride Month and Indigenous History Month. And I looked for a quote and I found an even better that I would like to bring to you today. So I'll bring both of them. So I think moments of these months of these that celebrate history remind me of Winston Churchill's quote that is, those that fail to learn from the past are condemned to repeat it. And it reinforces the importance of us remembering the path we have been to so far. However, I found this morning a Mark Twain quote that is much more nuanced to what the purpose of these months actually are. And he quotes goes as follows. History does not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And he is right, because in poetry, as in history, in order to be able to rhyme eloquently, one needs to know the past, understand the present, and have a clear intention for the future. And that's why months like Pride Month and Indigenous History Month are important because they make us remember the past, so we know where we're coming from. But also, it lets us take full stock of where we are now and propel towards the future. So, thank you very much, Patty. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Louise, and for sharing that quote. And glad to hear that you enjoy connecting with nature regardless of the weather. As for me, born and bred in a tropical climate, I tell you, I only enjoy it during summer. Thank you so much, Louise. And indeed, June is a month rich with celebration and reflection as we recognize Indigenous History Month, Pride Month, Filipino Heritage Month, Portuguese Heritage Month, Italian Heritage Month, among others. These observances remind us of the vital role that diversity, inclusion, and respect play in shaping a vibrant and welcoming community. Today, we have updates from our community participation supports and respect team. We are also going to have insights into our family experience survey and our much loved community unplugged session. A few things about our housekeeping notes before we begin. May you kindly use the chat function to make a comment or ask a question. And to all our presenters, Minao Nanda will be changing the slides today. So if you'd like any slide changed, please ask her to do so. And if you're experiencing any technical issues, Atam on our team will be happy to assist you, and he has put his details in the chat. And today we are also taking a moment to celebrate direct support professionals. And what a better way to honor their work than sharing their stories and experiences with their families and friends whose lives they help shape every day. I'm pleased to welcome our direct support professionals, Bijata, Caitlin, Shannon, and Taven, today to come and share with us what they do every day. And thank you for being here today. And I'll kindly invite Brad to facilitate that session. And over to you, Brad.
Thank you, Petronella. Glad to be here, everybody. I am really excited to be talking to a group of fantastic developmental services professionals, DSWs, from across Community Living Toronto to share their experiences, both how they got into the field, what they love about the work, and what their current jobs are. My first job in this sector was as an overnight worker in a group home. And this is in the late 80s, early 90s, supporting some young adults who were deaf and had other disabilities. And from that job, working overnights, and it was in a sleep overnight. I don't know that a lot of agencies still do a sleep overnights, but I loved that job. I got to know and understand the complexities that this role involves. I got to meet some fantastic people who I've stayed in touch with since then. And it really started my career working as a counselor in a congregate care setting in Georgetown for a number of years. And it is one of the most impactful parts of my career to date. As I mentioned, I still stay in touch with those people. I still think back to some of those shifts and some of those hours of working where you're interacting with another person. So many jobs. My son had his first job, and he's stacking shelves and straightening cans in a grocery store. And he comes back with stories about that, and it's great. But I think back to my first job in this sector, it seemed to have a lot more impact. So I'm really happy to introduce some of our direct support professionals from Community Living Toronto today to celebrate this sort of across the province recognition of the work that we do. I should also mention, I understand Toronto's about 38 degrees today and higher than that with the Humidex. I'm actually coming to you from Aarhus, Denmark, where I'm attending the European Social Network Conference. I've come to this a couple of years now, and the Europeans tend to be a little bit ahead of what we do in North America in terms of trends. And there was a presentation this morning around robotics and how it will be supporting people with physical disabilities. There were a number of people that were quadriplegic and were guiding this wheelchair, this sort of robot, with their eyes and the movement of their eyes and allowing it. It was mind-blowing. So anyway, I'm coming to you a bit of a high, but here you've got 38 degrees. I have 17 degrees. We're pretty far north, and it's light until about midnight. So anyway, with that aside, really happy to introduce a few of my colleagues from Community Living. And I'm going to ask them to start off by just saying who they are, where they work, And then a sentence or two around how you got involved with as a developmental services worker. So I'm going to start just as people lay out on my screen in no particular order. And I'm going to start with you, Bajade. Over to you.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. It's nice to be here today. I'm introducing myself. My name is Bijila Subedi. I'm originally from Nepal. Yes, the land of Mount Everest, but I've never climbed Mount Everest yet. And yeah, I did my DSW from Francois Calais. And also, I'm working here at the Gray CLT since this February. Thank you.
Fantastic. Kaylin, you're next up.
All right. Well, my name is Kaylin. I got into this field through, I wanted to study it, go to college because of some personal experiences I had had with family members who have disabilities and behavioral challenges. And I currently work at Sibley in the SRH, the Specialized Resource Homes. I can't remember if there was anything else.
No, I think that's good. We've got a few minutes, so we'll cover stuff if anything's left unsaid.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Kaylin. Shannon, you're on mute. You're doing the rookie team's mistake of.
Hi.
There you go.
I'm Shannon. I'm very honored to be here today to share my experience as being a DSW. I have been a DSW for 27 years and working for Community Living Toronto all 27 of those years. This was more of a calling for me, in a sense, than a place where or a job I wanted to work at. It gave me it checked off all my boxes, being able to help people, being able to change lives, even on a small day-to-day basis. And it just, it has taught me so much skills that I honestly put into practice in not only my professional life, but in my personal life as well.
Fantastic. Thanks, Shannon. Tevin, over to you. You're also on mute, Tevin, if you're...
Sorry about that. My computer was just moving a little slow there.
As things go, right? Always the case. As soon as you need it, it freezes up.
So hello, my name's Tevin Shad. I've been with Community Living for just over a year now at the Willett House. And I've been in the direct support field for about 10 years now. I ended up in this field partially through my educational background, as I went to York University for psychology. But honestly, even from a young age, really, I was kind of more inclined to working in a direct support field, in a direct service field. And when I was growing up, I was really instilled with the sense of and the importance of building community and assisting others and just having and sharing empathy. And that's really what drove me into the position I'm in now.
Fantastic, Tevin. I also have a degree in psychology from York University, so welcome to the club. I'm going to start with the first question around what do you love about this job? Every job has its goods and it's the things that go great, the things that are not so great. But I want to start with what gets you up in the morning on the days where you're excited to go to work, and that what do you love about the role and the impact that you get to have? And Kaylin, I'm going to start with you.
Sure, Brad. I think, and it's an easy answer for me. I love helping the individuals achieve, whether it's a small goal or a larger one, even something as simple as like independently performing a task. I love seeing their growth and recognizing, they came from here and are now have progressed to here. That's what sort of, that's a big part of what drives me in this field.
Let me ask just a quick follow-up there. So a small versus a large goal, do you distinguish between the two? And you work in a very challenging program where it's, you know, as you say, sometimes progress is measured in inches, not in feet, or, you know, centimeters, not in meters, to be more Canadian about it. What, how do you sort of keep motivated with both?
Well, I think I've seen a lot more of the small. I mean, working the day to day, you recognize a lot of the small progressions and the victories. And then, you know, at the monthly or even after a couple months, our team meetings, when our behavioral services consultant shows us the data of what their progression has been like, you really recognize, wow, like, you know, they have come a long way in the last 3-4 months. We're seeing less of this, more of that good stuff. So yeah.
That's great. Just being able to keep a mind on and track. You mentioned data. Not all programs use data as extensively as the programs you're in, but that's great to track. So, Shannon, you've got a bigger view, right? 27 years. I knew you'd been around a long time, but that's a long time, all at Community Living. So you've watched things change dramatically.
Yes.
Talk about that. How have you seen things change over the last 27 years?
So honestly, there's been some fantastic changes throughout my career. The opening of the new CPS programs, which is, I think, one of our biggest successes, moving from the workplace type industry training into a more progressive recreation programs. For me, I think probably the best part of my job and the best part of having so much time with Community Living is that I feel like the older staff, and I say older, not older, but the more seasoned staff, I feel like we are the storytellers, the history keepers, the ones who have really watched someone grow. I mean, I started in my early 20s, and a lot of our participants were in their early 20s. So I have had the opportunity to watch individuals grow and go through a lot of changes within them. And now that I'm on the other side of 20, it's nice to see. For me, I look at it as figuring out the best way to support them in the present time they are now. Having the entire piece to see someone go from in their 20s to in their 50s, pretty much, gives me a real picture of an entire life cycle in some cases.
Right.
So that's I like the fact that I can be sort of a history keeper and a storyteller and remember things about their families that maybe new staff wouldn't know.
Right. And so you've worked in Etobicoke most of your career, and you're also from Etobicoke, right? So you have a sense of that community as well.
Yeah.
And the CPS programs that we used to have were very much focused on getting people employment. I think they were originally called ETSs, right? Employment Training Services.
They were actually called ARC Industries.
Right.
So yeah, I go way back. Yes. So then they became ETS from ARC. Yes.
So that changed from having people learn job readiness skills, and many people actually learned those skills and then got jobs. But then there was a group of people that weren't able to get competitive employment or for whatever reason. So having the program change, and as you say, we've got a new location in Etobicoke, and a lot of our locations have changed this to move away from employment readiness, where people would stay for many years, to doing things that are more social, life skills training, opportunities to do things, discover your community, learn a skill. It's been quite the change.
It has been a big change. Some of our participants still refer to the CPS as work, right. Which is just language that they're used to. But it just goes to show you how much of an impact their time at community living has made to them, thinking, all those years back, still referring to the same way of thinking. Now, though, our focus specifically at my CPS is we have a sort of a team spirit where we say to each other, let's give these participants the best day we possibly can. And that's just Excellent. A simple strategy to keep motivated. What can we do to give them the very best day they possibly can while they're with us? Fantastic.
So Jada, you've been here less than 27 years. What motivates you? What have you found as you're earlier in your career than, say, Shannon and me? Or what gets you up in the morning? What makes you excited about the work that you do?
Thank you. Sorry, I missed the question. Like, how did I end up in DSW?
No, sort of. What gets you excited about the work that you do, or why? What sort of motivates you every day to do the work that you do?
Yeah, I also missed the question that how I ended up in DSW Phil. So
okay, so you Phil. Oh, I get it. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so like, funny enough, growing up in Nepal, I never had ever heard about term developmental service worker. To be honest, It wasn't common field back home, and developmental disabilities back home were not openly talked about or supported the way here in Canada. So when I was researching for the careers in Canada, because I used to be a nurse back home, so I was looking for something meaningful that is people focused. So I came across the DSW program, and it just clicked me. I love the idea, supporting individuals to their best lives, and then to be seen, heard, and included. So what I love about this job is every day is different. The person I support make it worth it. It really surprised me that how much this field taught us, not just about others, but about myself. It shows me patience and the beauty of celebrating small victories. And coming from a place where this work is not widely recognized, I feel proud to be a part of community that values inclusion, dignity, and support for every individuals.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to add, or you that's a pretty good answer.
Yeah, I think I covered it all.
Perfect. So Kevin, over to you. What do you love about your job? What keeps you going every day? You've been here a year and in the field for 10. What keeps you going?
What keeps me going is kind of to echo a few things that Jada and Kaylin had said. It's definitely the fact that every day can be a new day with new experiences, where there's new lessons or skills that I could be learning myself, or the individuals I'm working with could be learning. All of those things are really what gets me to go there. Because I know, as Kaylin said before, it's also seeing the growth in the change in independence, the increase in autonomy in the individuals I work with. It's always just so amazing to see. And whether it's a big change in a massive ability in what they're capable of doing independently, or whether it's a small step towards that end goal, all of it is, to me, honestly, just remarkable to see. And that's what really brings me joy in this field.
Fantastic. So I'm gonna switch a little bit to some of the challenges, or what are some of the things that you've experienced over the years that you really find yourself being that are less motivating, or what are some of the things that you find yourself sort of having to take time to take care of yourself to get through in your work? It's a more challenging question, but I have no doubt you'll give some great insight here. So, Kaylin, I'm going to start with you. Put you right on the spot.
Sure, I'm ready. One thing that I thought of is I like things to be organized and tidy. I like to be able to go to a certain place in the space, know that if I need like XYZ, it's here. Something that is challenging for me in a very chaotic and busy environment is whether it's another staff or one of the individuals moving things, just for a number of reasons. But something that, yeah, like not being able to track down the items that I want or need when I need them is a frustration, but it's just part of the day. It's helped me or going through it has helped me to remember that, we're all just doing the best that we can. Just roll with the punches and, keep going.
Yeah, it's a good point that when you're working in a chaotic environment, it's nice to have, or a busy environment, it's nice to have certain things that are anchored and you know where to get them, whatever it is. I worked on an evening shift for 2 years with a coworker, Susan. Susan was deaf, and we were working with people that were deaf, and it was really helpful to get into that routine with another colleague, where you sort of knew she would cover this, I would cover that. You knew where things were, and you sort of had that routine. And it seems like a small thing when things are just a little discombobulated, but it doesn't quite settle. And I relate to you there. It can be surprisingly disruptive to your own sort of ability to manage a busy shift when things just aren't sort of where they should be or gelling the way they should. Tevin, over to you. What do you find most challenging or sometimes frustrating in your work, and how do you work around that or work with it?
Honestly, I think the most challenging aspect I find throughout my experience working this field is challenging might not be the best phrase for this, but and especially when it's my first time, when I'm trying to assist anybody who's experiencing crisis in the moment, that initial instance, because in my experience, I'm in a group home with CLT right now, and most of my experience has been in other group homes or other facilities
Right.
where there's a number of individuals I'm care for. And for that scenario is always challenging for me, because I always want to, and you always really need to approach it from a much more empathetic, understanding aspect and angle from it. But at the same time, it's kind of the flurry, the chaos, as Kaylin said before, of I also have all these other staff with me as well, or all these individuals with me as well, and I need to make sure that I can keep everybody safe while still attending as appropriately as they need to that crisis, to the moment, to help the person who needs the help the most. And I find it just kind of difficult in that time to balance the conflict of those competing needs at points.
Right. And it can be easy, and I'll ask your opinion on this, that it can be easy, I think, at times to kind of beat yourself up or be overly hard on yourself, because the things that stick with me, even decades later, are moments when someone's in crisis or going through something, or having a bad day, and I approached that situation unkindly or without as much patience as I could have given. And you just know you missed an opportunity there. And part of it is, you learn from that, but also giving some grace to realize we're only human. You can do what you do, and apologizing and fixing those things makes a difference. Have you found tips for yourself that work in those situations, Tevin?
What I have found from my time working the field is what helps for me is anytime I find, whether it's just like a standard day and I'm just kind of being swept up by the constant the constant go, the constant chaos, the constant turn of the day, is I found that just taking a moment to just kind of just do like a quick meditation session, just a pause, a breathe, just a clear of my mind. I find that does help a lot. So I can go in and I could approach whatever the scenario may be as empathetic and as genuine as I can without causing whatever, inner turmoil, inner emotions that are going on with me to interfere with, how I might go about reacting to someone.
Right, right. Okay. I'm going to switch the question a little bit into that notion of self-care, and when we're the DSW jobs and direct support professional jobs where you're giving of yourself. You can't, you're interacting with humans as another human. How do you, Vijay, what are the steps you take to kind of take care of yourself in those moments and stay energized and in the moment and connected?
Actually, coffee helps a lot for me personally.
Very practical, very practical. Okay.
Yeah, of course I take breaks too, and also self-care. I love taking long baths before I come to work. And then I keep my mind fresh, so I don't bring my personal things at work, and I don't bring my work things to my home too, to my personal life. So when I'm here, I just, if I see somebody is yeah, it can be emotionally and physically exhausting, especially the paperworks. Oh, I hate that. That's not my best friend.
Yeah.
But still, I love to do my things on time. I love to finish my work and only go home, and I don't want to take any tension from work to home. Yeah, that's how I take care of myself.
That's great. That's great. Shannon, I'm going to ask you the same question. I mean, and you've got a lot of experience around being able to show up every day, ready for work. I'll just mention, so one of the things that I found, especially going into work, was the importance of a routine. And I had about a 30-minute drive to work, and I would, every day on the way in, I had this Winston Marsalis tune, Mo Better Blues, that I would play in the car on the way in. I'd stop at a variety store on the way in. I'd pick up an apple juice and a Twix bar. In hindsight, I should have just picked up an apple, but life evolves. And I found, because I wanted to arrive at work ready to give, ready to contribute, be on and getting in that mindset. Those 30 minutes in the car were really, really helpful. I don't think you have a 30-minute drive to work. So what are the things that you do, Shannon, to help prepare every day?
So what I do is I try very, very hard to keep my sense of humor. If you can laugh about something with the people you support, you have a much, much better day. And I just think to myself, how can we make whatever's going on in their lives something positive? And I look forward to, I actually look forward to coming to work every day, even after 27 years, because every day looks different. You're not doing the same thing every day. Somebody is always telling you something or needing something from you. And for me, it's just, how do I prepare? I tell myself before I leave in the morning, keep your sense of humor no matter what goes down. And it makes for a much more pleasant work environment as well. Not letting the small things get to you.
Fantastic. We are, believe it or not, out of time. It feels like we just got started, but we've been at this for a bit. And I know that we could have talked for quite a bit more. You guys all are bringing a lot of experience and passion to this conversation and also to your work. As you know, it is DSW Day, or Developmental Services Professional Day, in Ontario. And at Community Living Toronto, we're doing some things to make people feel, just to recognize the day and the contribution that you make. And I want to thank you for being open and sharing some of your insights, but also more broadly to the entire workforce at Community Living Toronto. We're lucky. And I see the work that we do as a privilege. It doesn't always feel that way, but we are one of the things that make Canada, make Ontario a better place to live. Bajadi, you talked about in Nepal, they don't have disability services. We've done some work with people in other parts of the world where disability is quite hidden and not forget supports, it's not even recognized as an issue. So I think we're fortunate to live in a province. It doesn't always feel like we get all the support that we need, and there's much more that can be done. But we're in privileged positions where we're with people at some of the best times of their life and also some of the most challenging. And each of the four of you and each of the hundreds of people that work with us really do make a difference in people's lives every day. So for that, I really want to thank you all and honor the work that you do every day. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Petronella, we'll go back to you.
Thank you so much, Brad, and thank you, Bijeta, Shannon, Kaylin, and Tevin for taking the time to come and share what drives you every day. We appreciate that. And please continue sharing messages of appreciation in the chat. Tara wrote in the chat, I always loved in-person trainings because you got to meet those storytellers, history keepers from across CLTO. So thank you for the impact we have made and continue to make. Thank you so much. Next on our program, I'd like to invite Joe Passorati, our Chief Operating Officer at Community Living Toronto, to give some updates. Joe, over to you.
Oh, thank you, Petronella. And it's going to be a very tough act to follow. That was very inspirational, especially today being what it is in terms of appreciating our DSWs across the organization. So I'm just going to share some highlights of some notices that we received both from Toronto Public Health and from partners for planning, that some important sessions that some people might want to get involved in. So we did receive earlier this week a little bit of a reminder that we thought was worth sharing with everyone about key summer health and safety tips from Toronto Public Health, and just as some reminders. And we'll make that notice available because it does have some links on it and some things that might be helpful for people to reference. And so some of the things that they identified in the communication that they shared with us is, first and foremost, what they identified was measles protection. As we all know, there's a variety of outbreaks across the province and are almost happening globally to a large extent. So it was a bit of a reminder for folks that, if you're not vaccinated yet, to check vaccinations and making sure that you are fully vaccinated, first of all, to protect yourselves and your families and to mitigate against further outbreaks, but also to ensure that people are able to be participants in a variety of activities, as more and more organizations such as ours or even others are starting to ask questions about vaccinations, and we wouldn't want anyone excluded from those fun activities, especially during these summer months. They also talked about, just as a reminder in terms of safety in the sun, of applying sun protection, especially during like the most exposed time to the sun, which is around between 11 and 3 p.m. on a daily basis, to ensure that you're applying sunscreen and reapplying it as you have activities that you're participating in outdoors. And lastly, what they mentioned is that, just with a lot of people being outdoors and being involved in a lot of activities, to ensure that there's a lot of safety precautions being taken, using helmets for biking, ensuring that you're being aware of, especially with the proliferation of e-scooters and other such things on our roads, that, more and more of those are out there during the summer months. Just being aware of those as a safety precaution to everyone. So we'll make that notice available to everyone on our website and so on, just so they could see directly what public health has identified to us. And there are some links there that you might find useful just for yourselves as a point of reference. The other thing that I wanted to highlight for folks is an engaging event that's happening tomorrow night at 7 p.m. The advertisement has been out there for a little while, but obviously we wanted to take this opportunity of having this family and friends session to highlight that the ministry, through Partners for Planning, is having an event tomorrow at 7 p.m. And two directors of policy from the ministry will be talking about the principles of Journey to Belonging and a lot of other elements, obviously, of the ministry's direction in terms of DS over the next number of years. So they are going to present the principles of the initiative itself, as well as answer questions that have been submitted from families in advance over the last number of weeks. And so it might be something that, a lot of people might find of interest. I know if you're unable to make the session tomorrow at 7, Partners for Planning does a really good job of reposting the recordings that they have for such sessions. So you could use that as a frame of reference at another time if you are unable to register for tomorrow's session. You do have to register if you'd like to partake in the session tomorrow. And there's an email address that I just saw Artem's messages pop up. So I believe that was out there. So if you can attend, I think it'd be a very informative session, or if you can listen to it subsequent to it being posted tomorrow evening. And that's all I had, Petronella.
Thank you so much, Joe, for
You're
sharing
welcome.
that information. The link has just been shared in the chat
Great.
as well. And we encourage people to register. We will update people via our website if they need additional information as well. So thank you so much for that, Joe. Next, I would like to invite Heather Dawson, Director Quality and Risk, to share results from our recently concluded Family Experience Survey. Heather, over to you.
Great, thanks so much, Petronella. And thanks, Manal. I will ask you to progress the slides throughout the discussion. So I am pleased to share again with you this year's results of the Family Experience Survey. This annual survey provides information to help with planning and to better understand experiences and expectations of families, caregivers, and those most close to people supported by Community Living Toronto. We truly do value and appreciate the time that families have taken to complete the survey and to provide opinions and comments. You may recall that in 2023, we first conducted this survey to get a better understanding of what's important to families, what families are expecting, and to what extent we're meeting these expectations, and where there are opportunities for improvement. We received very positive results in 2023, and we're really thrilled that once again this year we also received similarly high ratings, and we do have a couple of areas that we need to continue to focus in on. So the next slide, please. So this year we engaged a company called Leger Research to implement the survey on our behalf. We used the same survey questions from 2023 and added a couple of new questions to reflect some current practice. We invited just over 900 family members, so hopefully some of you on the session today were invited to participate. Family members or close affiliates to complete the survey, and this was either by phone or online. And we heard back from 223 family members from people in a wide range of programs, community participation supports, respite, supported living, and specialized services. And next slide, please. So just a high-level summary of some key findings. We learned the following. Families provided high ratings for our efforts towards our strategic goals of fostering diversity, equity, and inclusion. We heard that programs focus on building a sense of belonging, improving health outcomes, and promoting independence. And similar to 2023, we heard that families want to engage with others, but are not necessarily aware of the opportunities. So this is an area of ongoing improvement. And as you've just heard from Joe, we'll take as many opportunities as we can to promote what's happening, what's going on, and what families might be involved in, want to be involved in participating in. We also heard that we need to continue to raise the awareness of our initiatives to move people out of poverty through housing or other initiatives. Next slide. So the next, actually, could you go back? Thanks. The next, I'll take a few minutes to go through some specific results of the survey, and just to help you get a sense of the slides, where you see a percent in the brackets within the sentences here. This is the percent of people who agreed or strongly agreed with the statements in the survey. So again, mostly we've received some very high ratings, and so I just put the percents there so you had a sense of what ratings we're referring to. So in terms of when it comes to our mission and strategic goals, most specifically when it comes to putting putting people we support first, you'll see we received very high ratings. The vast majority of families indicated that CLTO fosters diversity, equity, and inclusion, and with people supported and with our staff. And programming builds a sense of belonging, improves health outcomes, and promotes independence. And results also indicate, again, the need for emphasis on ensuring that programs and services are developed with input from families and are accessible to everyone who needs them. On the next slide. When it comes to the perceptions of our programs and experience with staff, we also received some high ratings here. We found that staff are recognized for upholding safety, respecting individuals' rights, supporting free expression without discrimination, and being mindful of cultural and religious needs. And nearly all affiliates or family members indicated that they feel welcomed and described their interactions with staff as positive and respectful. And the next slide. This shows some additional results. A large majority of family members feel well informed about changes in health and well-being of the person supported, and they say that staff are responsive to their questions and concerns. And most say that programs are adaptive, goal-oriented, and meet individuals' needs. And then the next slide. The next slide reflects some new questions that we asked this year. So this year, we asked a question to reflect the fact that families and people supported are aging, and to get a sense of whether families feel that we're doing all that we can as an organization to support this. So the results are here. So only 64% of family members agreed or strongly agreed that their person supported is well prepared for transitions in life that may occur. And these are things such as going to school, maybe aging out of a children's program, or managing with aging parents or siblings. And 71% of families feel well prepared for these types of transitions. So this suggests room for us to focus on efforts that will provide families and people supported with information or other supports to confidently manage these transitions. Next slide. When it comes to customer experience, as you all know, it's essential to understand what your customers are looking for. So it's essential for us to understand the expectations of families. So we asked the question, when it comes to meeting your expectations as a service provider for people with disabilities, does CLTO exceed, meet, or not meet your expectations? And 21% of respondents indicated that we exceed expectations. 57% indicated that we meet expectations, and 23% indicated that CLTO does not meet their expectations. So based on comments that people provided, we can see that the key drivers to exceeding expectations are strong communication, good support provided by friendly and knowledgeable staff. And when we do not meet expectations, the main reasons are the converse: a lack of support or care, limited program availability, and unhelpful staff. So understanding and ideally exceeding expectations where possible will be a focus of CLTO in the coming years, where we're really focusing on some efforts related to customer experience. Next slide. When it comes to overall satisfaction, over 3/4 of family surveys indicated that they are very satisfied with the supports and services at CLTO. However, that said, as an area for improvement, families are indicating that they're interested in engaging with families and caregivers. And I mentioned this earlier. We do offer many opportunities to engage with other families. However, our survey results continue to show that there's room for improvement here in terms of promoting these events and opportunities in different ways. So the next slide, just to wrap things up. What does all this mean and what's next? So over the coming months, we're taking opportunities to meet with programs and to look at these results at a program level. So community participation supports has their own results, Respite has their own results, and to really have discussions about what these results mean for the programs and what can programs put in place to continue to offer what families are really happy about, excited about, and then what areas can we focus on so that we continue to meet expectations and improve these results in the coming year. So that's it. That's a quick review of the results, quick summary. And again, thank you again to all families who participated in the survey this year, because this is the kind of information that we need in order to really understand if we're meeting expectations or what's driving your customer experience. So that's it for me, Petronella. I am happy to answer any questions, but that's it for me for the presentation.
All right, thank you so much, Heather, for providing the results of the family experience survey, and great to hear about the positive feedback from our families. We thank them for their confidence. I'm sure the team will put your charts or contact details in the chat, Heather, for anyone who may have any questions for you. Thank you so much. Last but not least, I would like to invite Flora Nichols, Program Manager, Community Participation Supports, for an update on their program and what is in store for you this summer. Flora, over to you.
Thank you, Petronella. Good afternoon to families, friends, and colleagues. Today, I will be providing an update on community participation supports and respite. Next slide, please. So let's celebrate our community connections. Supported Living Community Participation Supports has been exploring and enjoying time with friends throughout the city, whether it's spending the day at Shadow Lake or going to a Mirvish Theatre to see Come From Away, a day at the park, or even celebrating the accomplishment of voting, so exercising civic duties. Supported Living is embracing their community and local neighborhoods. It's always great to get out into community, enjoying all that our wonderful city has to offer. Next slide, please. So collaboration and celebration. The Community Neighborhood Network, also known as CNN internally, it's a resource group comprised of a passionate staff from multiple services streams within Community Living Toronto. Our primary goal is to increase awareness and improve access to community participation for all persons supported. This group provides support. We share resources and tools through ongoing connection and collaboration between supported living and community participation support. So here are more examples of how supported living individuals are getting out and participating in the community. So they join in our events at our CPS sites across the city. They visit their local community centers, and as you see here, might even take in a Blue Jays game and so much more. Next slide, please. So in May, community participation supports and supported living individuals attended the Toronto Zoo Bush Camp. Well, the rain couldn't dampen the incredible energy and excitement of the day, even though it had to be cut short due to the weather. So despite those showers, it was a heartwarming to see so many smiling faces, as you can see in the photos, enjoying their zoo adventure. The enthusiasm was very contagious, and it truly showed that we all belong, rain or shine. So to ensure that participants get a full experience, the Toronto Zoo will be issuing a partial refund and has generously offered a rain date. So stay tuned, more details will be coming soon. Next slide, please. Adult Respite is looking forward to great summer adventures. As you can see in some of our photos, we love traveling by TTC, baking, cooking, playing sports. Summer 2025 will be no exception. We will be engaging in interactive activities and attending festivals throughout the city this summer. We're offering extended day hours into the evening, as well as overnight, 7 days a week, starting June 29th to September 2nd. For more information, please contact Kim Priestley. She will be able to assist you with booking and checkout availability. If you are new to Respite, please be sure to inquire about an intake appointment. Next slide, please. School's almost out, I would say, just a couple more days to go. So our extended summer hours for Anna Dale and Lawson Children's Respite Program will begin on June 27th and run through September 1st. We look forward to accessing community events around the city and exploring new places with you. Also, please remember to book your fall after-school programming, which will resume in September. Next slide, please. So now moving on to our fee-for-service, lovely brochures, I might add. Hello, summer, and it certainly is summer, came with a vengeance this weekend. We are ready and waiting for you to come join the fun in our fee-for-service programs starting on July 7th and run through to September 26th. We have offerings that are catered to meet a variety of needs in different spaces, different places. We have our regular summer offerings from our community junction that provides an opportunity to choose one class for the entire session, or there's our new summer themed weeks, Monday through Thursdays. Those are all themed weeks that you can actually register for. Very exciting. As well as summer expeditions on Wednesdays that will explore a variety of Toronto attractions. So those will be offered only on Wednesdays throughout the summer. There are so many choices to choose from to make your summer an adventurous one. So I would encourage you to go onto My Community Hub and register for your programs. Next slide, please. So back in May, we celebrated Community Living Toronto Month, and we hosted the We All Belong campaign. Many of you are familiar with that. So throughout the month of May, community participation, support, and respite engaged in a variety of activities and events to raise the awareness of the month and the We All Belong campaign. Our teams came up with creative ways to gain an understanding of what belonging means to the people supported at our locations. The East Mall, as we see here, created a beautiful and welcoming entry into the space that evoked a feeling of belonging and inclusivity. Advance Road made handcrafted We All Belong themed art projects with personalized messages. Next slide, please. At our Foster Connections, they made belonging bracelets, and they actually went into the community and handed out those bracelets to their local neighbors, local businesses. And this was a fantastic way to meet neighbors and raise awareness for Community Living Month. That was amazing. They also constructed wall art to depict what belonging means to both participants as well as staff alike. The next slide, please. Continuing at our Finch site, they created a belonging wall at the main entrance of the building, which included photos of staff and participants. They also took lots of lovely photographs with the We All Belong campaign banners and participated in various art activities and explored their local community where we all belong. The next slide, please. At our Fairfax site, they created a larger than life beautiful belonging banner. They also hosted the Community Living Month wrap-up event with Community Idol at the Mix. For those of you who may not know, Community Idol is an annual event where we are all welcome and encouraged to participate by having the opportunity to get up on stage, show off your talent to a friendly audience. At the event, there were singers, dancers, comedians who graced the stage, and I heard it was a large turnout. The audience sang and danced along to show their support. It was a great event with fun had by all who attended. And the last slide, please. So, as always, let's stay connected. You can reach us by email, by phone, or visit our website. Stay cool outside. It's a scorcher out there today. And thank you so much for listening.
Hi, Flora. Are you able to just answer one question for us? Thank you so much for that update. There's a question, will Community Junction be holding programs at Foster's Clubhouse or other locations again in the fall? Foster's was great because of its subway handy.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that update. And as Flora said, many choices to choose from to make your summer adventurous. And we hope you'll take advantage of the amazing summer programs and opportunities. And thank you for sharing the memorable celebrations for our We All Belong campaign. And it was great to see one of the We All Belong wall art this morning. So thank you so much to you and your team. We are grateful to everyone who joined us throughout May to celebrate and recognize people, places, everyday moments that champion belonging. Together, we remain committed to working towards a more inclusive future. As we have come to an end for today, many thanks to our presenters. It was a pleasure to have you with us and to provide your updates. And a special thank you to our direct support professionals for joining us this afternoon. And thank you all for spending your time with us today. And many thanks to Brad for facilitating the Community Unplugged session today. Our next Family and Friends update will take place in October, and we will share registration details closer to the date. Wishing you a wonderful summer. May it be filled with joy, sunshine, and well-deserved rest. Let's keep making a difference. Every kind word, thoughtful action, and moment of care helps create a more positive and inclusive society. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Until next time, take care.